City Steak, and they have been making steaks and supplying meat to some of the finest restaurants across the nation for 87 plus years. Now, we've got a salad that I'm gonna make with some steak. I'm gonna do a little cutting, but this is sirloin. Oh, scratch that. This is top sirloin.
Sirloin.
And top sirloin is very different. Top sirloin is tender. Top sirloin is juicier. Top sirloin is more melt in your mouth. And when you think about creating a steak and having a real steak experience, and also even an everyday steak, this is it. It is a hot pick on the day, or actually it's my pick of the day, which makes it a hot pick. Let me share with you exactly what you're receiving. 2, 4, 6, 8 of these 6-ounce steaks. Now, this is perfect for dinner. It's perfect for fajitas. It's perfect for tacos. It's perfect for grilling. We're in grilling season. You're also getting a seasoning packer. The price is $77.30. We do have it on an easy pay of $25.77. And there is actually an auto delivery, which will be every 90 days. Now, I know that in this time, maybe grocery shopping isn't something that you really want to do, or not a lot of it, or when you actually go to the grocers and you go to the butcher shop, you're not necessarily finding the cuts of meat that you'd like to find. This is, again, Kansas City Steak. The item number is M67384. I'm going to invite in my guest, Ralph Pallarino, because he's a chef, could pick any sort of meat company to present and work for, but chooses to do for Kansas City Steak. And one of the reasons, I imagine, is that this is a name that has been around for 87 years. Ralph, nice to talk to you.
Hi, Ralph.
Yeah, hey, everyone. Alberti, Rachel, how are you?
Really great. Now, Ralph, as a chef, the provenance of where you're getting your meat is a really big deal, and the cut as well. Will you tell us about Kansas City Steak, and in this particular instance, this top sirloin?
Absolutely. So the Great USA, Midwestern beef, we've been very fortunate since 1932 to be near some of the best cattle around, and we've been extremely meticulous, in particular, about the diet that the cattle feeds on. And then we take it a step further. We are extremely meticulous about this cut. This cut is so wonderful because a lot of people associate sirloin with an inexpensive cut. It's an everyday, I've had it, it's okay. But what you don't see in the stores is a top sirloin, which sits on the cattle right above the sirloin. It's more tender. It's more robust. I think it eats like a New York strip steak, and it's tender. And it's so well marbled because of that wet aging process that we go through at Kansas City Steak Company. Not a lot of people will wet age for 28 days, Rachel. That's where you get that beautiful color, that beautiful juiciness, and that beautiful robust flavor that you're going to get at a steakhouse. So this is top sirloin, not to be confused with just your everyday sirloin. It's a great everyday steak. It marinates well. I'm having so much fun with it. I butterflied it because you see how thick it is, and I made a Pollard out of it the other night with roasted peppers and greens. Yeah.
Well, Ralph, here's one of the things that I love about this steak is that, just like you said, it's really tender. So the chew factor on this is almost like a filet. It's nice and it just melts in your mouth, but you get all of this flavor almost as if you're eating like the ribeye, right? That's like the type of flavor that you're getting with this. And 6 ounces, it's the perfect size. So if you're looking for a great meal to grill, you want to have that perfect steak for yourself any night of the week, this is doing that for you. And it comes to you from a brand that's, are nominated for most recommended brand this year at QVC. So, whether you want it medium rare, more medium plus, or well done, you're going to get a great sear, you're going to get great flavor, and you're going to get a great tenderness to this steak, no matter how you prepare it and no matter how you like it. And that's one of the reasons why I really like the top sirloin that you bring to us.
You know what? Let me give you an update on what's going on before we continue on, Ralph, because this is very popular. I only have about 2,000 left to go around. And of course, we're in millions of households across the nation, and a lot of people are facing various situations in terms of finding the cut that you want, or again, knowing that it's Kansas City Steak Company. So we have Customer Choice Awards. This is nominated for most recommended brand. You'll receive 8 of the 6-ounce top sirloin steaks and a packet of seasoning. I love that down front, right, we've just laid it out on a bed of tomatoes with some beautiful crumbled blue cheese. How easy is that? How simple is that?
Yummy.
I want to show you as well that this is how they come. Ralph, share with us how they come. Each one flash frozen, individually packed. What do I do when I get them home?
So when you get them home, they come on dry ice styrofoam. And what you do is put them in your refrigerator overnight. They'll thaw out. In a pinch, I put them on my counter for like 2 or 3 hours, and they literally thaw out. So that's easy. If you look at it, these are very, very well trimmed. This is a very lean piece of meat. So when we associate it with like a tenderloin, you're right on there because it's so meticulously trimmed. So you don't have to worry about trimming it, taking any fat off it. And you mentioned something about Kansas City Steak Company. What I love about Kansas City Steak Company is if you've tried our ribeyes, you've tried our a lot of our other steaks, great. But if you haven't tried our brand yet, this is such a great entry-level steak. And if you will fall in love with it, and then you'll love everything else we have. So this is a great entry-level steak.
I love it. And when you talk about an entry-level steak, it's just a great way, again, as you said, for you to try the brand and see the goodness. And how do you like your steak? I mean, this is the height of grilling season. Right now, maybe we're gathering with smaller groups of people, 5 to 10 people. You definitely want to, when you invite them to your home, say, you know what, how do you like your steak? I'm going to put a steak on the grill. And when you're looking at this, this is a phenomenal value because this is about $9 and change a steak. Now, if you took that person out to dinner, there's no way that you could go to that fine restaurant and get a top sirloin steak that's 6 ounces for $9. That wouldn't happen. And it wouldn't be one that's aged for 28 days, right? This is aged for 28 days, Ralph. And that's something that is a fine steakhouse process and procedure. What does the aging do for the flavor of the steak, Ralph?
Sure. So the aging process breaks down the fibers of the meat. So it's kind of like you're marinating it in its own juices. So it breaks down those fibers. It makes it super juicy and tender. And it also gives you this edge, this edgy flavor, this beefy flavor that you don't get with a run-of-the-mill steak. So a lot of famous steakhouses in the basements, they age their steaks. So a lot of these days, you can't obviously get that type of meal. So the fact that you can get an aged top sirloin is crazy. Not a lot of people will wet age a top sirloin.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, did you see the thickness on the one you're cutting? Mm-hmm. The thickness is so important because a lot of times when people have a thinner steak, it tends to dry out faster. But look at the thickness of this steak. It's wonderful.
Yeah, the thickness is a big deal. I like my steaks medium well. And people say, oh, well, you know what? That's going to ruin the steak. But it doesn't ruin a top sirloin, right? They're like, oh, well, you're hiding. If you're doing medium well, you've basically, moved beyond the place where you really want to enjoy your steak. And I don't feel that's the case at all. And I feel like with the top sirloin, right, whatever way you like your steak is going to be absolutely delicious. Alberti, how do you like your steak, friend?
I like my steak medium all the way through. And here's what I would love to tell you is the fact that right now I know a lot of people are still making almost every single meal at home. And I'm like you, I find myself making, burgers more frequently and some of the easier meals. But here's the funny thing, is that a steak is actually just as easy to make as a burger or a chicken breast. But it's so much more of an occasion when you put it on your plate. So if you're sitting at home and you are getting that food fatigue and you want something delicious and you want something really filling and you want something that's gonna satisfy you, the steak is there for you to do that, but you don't really have to do any extra work. You don't have to marinate this. You don't have to try and doctor anything up. Throw it on the grill, and about 5-6 minutes on each side. That's usually the way that it works for me, Ralph, on my grill. I heat it up really, really high. This just comes out perfect, and it's so delicious. And you can pair it with a vegetable. You could pair it with a salad. You could do anything you want with it, but really what you're going to get is one of the best meals of the week.
I mean, I think it's perfect for fajitas. It's perfect for if you want to put it in tacos. It's perfect when you want to just grill a steak and add some vegetables to it. I only have 1,400 remaining. Let me remind you that this is a price that is only here for a finite period of time. It's 3 easy payments of $25.77 and 8 6-ounce top sirloin steaks are coming home to you with the seasoning packet, and it's M67384. You're going to get them, each one of them flash frozen. Yes, Ralph?
Yeah, real quick, if you can hold up one of the packages, I want to show people the white lines that are running through the steak, which basically show you the marbleization and how if you did cook it medium well, it would still be juicy because of those white lines. That's marbling, that's flavor. When you cook it, it will make that steak juicy even at medium well.
I love it. Thank you. That's why it tastes so good to me. Thanks, Chef. I appreciate you. Continue to stay on the line for that. Ralph, we so appreciate you. Lock this price in, lock the easy pay in, and lock in auto delivery.